Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Keep those eyes open wide, no time to lag. Yeah, we own that soul. Start your heart, start the show. FFTV on the pole. Twist and turn, feel the burn, the tensions in the air. Slick grooves and sudden moves, danger everywhere. Break a road, those flash like fireflies in a summer night. Avoid those wrecks, keep it steady. Hold your line tight. Pushing limits, racing fast. No room for doubt. Every second's pump and pulse. The crowds are shout. Engines roar, hot sore. FFTV on the pole. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Burning rubber, burning hot. Lose control. From the pits to checkered flags. Dodging wrecks and cautions. Keep those eyes open wide. No time to lag. Yeah, we own that soul. Start your heart, start the show. FFTV on the pole. Neon lights and roaring crowds. Fire in our veins. Speed addiction, racing passion. Breaking every chain. Hold tight, the finish line is burning right ahead. When the flag waves, victory lane. All fears we shed. Engines roar, hot sore. FFTV on the pole. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Let it roll. Burning rubber, burning hot. Lose control. From the pits to checkered flags. Dodging wrecks and cautions. Keep those eyes open wide. No time to lag. FFTV on the pole. On the pole. Cross that
is relieved here. Why it didn't do what it was supposed to, I don't know. We got heat number 1 of your night underway. Come on now, do what I need you to here tonight. Why aren't you down here? There we are. Steve Rex out there in front. In that number 70, Jeff Clinton there second. Greg Bristol back here in third. Looking underneath is that of the 50 as Greg Bristol goes around down there on the bottom side, bringing out the first caution. Tim McDowell there also involved. Aaron Longworth there in fourth as you watch him come there along the back straightaway. That bring out your first caution here within heat number 1. And come on now, do what you need to. And you just kind of watch these two come together here in the corner. As you see the 39 kind of drip down a little bit, just across the nose, just enough to get him turned sideways and around he goes. And now here we go, back out here once again. Trying to get things lined up with the pace car rolling there. You gotta get ready here. For the restart. Hopefully we have everybody up here in the sponsor list that we need. If not, let me know and we'll get you added. They come back now for the green flag once again. Around here at the fairgrounds. Side by side, Jeff Clifton and Steve Rex out there on the bottom. Jason Steptoe back out here in the 50, working there on the bottom. Craig Bristol in the pits. Aaron Longworth there in the 42. Little damage to the front end of that machine as they now work there down the back straightaway. In the 3 and 4. They now work there now off the corner. Down the front straightaway here. Through 1 and 2. Let's see if we can get a thing here. 3 to go here for the Honky Tonk Highway 50, or the Honky Tonk 50 we're going to call it. Just for the sake of making it fit there on the scoreboard. Jeff Clifton out there trying to weed his way up there to the front. They work there through turn 3 and 4. Up there on the high side, Jeff Clifton, Steve Rex. Out there in second, Jason Steptoe, white flag in the air. Here we go, down there in the corner, 1 and 2. Final lap here for the drivers going around here at Nashville Fairgrounds. They come off third, number 4 at the drag race to the line. Clifton's going to hang on there for the win with Steve Rex there in second. We're going to go ahead and get our Heat 1 results here. Heat 1 results. Going to be Jeff Clifton getting that win. Steve Rex there second. Jason Steptoe third. Aaron Longworth there in fourth. Tim McDowell in fifth. Craig Bristol there sixth. Now we get ready to go here for heat number 2 of your street stock division tonight from Nashville Fairgrounds. We got Ricky Barbray out there on pole. Frank Griffin in second for Stinger Motorsports. The 58 of Corey Bigley there starting third. Andy Patton in the 87 starting fourth. The 04 of Greg Parmalee there in fifth. And D.B. Runkle for On Point Racing, driving to number 11 tonight, starts there in sixth. Everybody get lined up here, getting ready to go here. And our tower's screwed up here for your street stock division. I am sorry about that. I got to really get on the ball to fix that. I need like a big post-it note right here on my monitor right in front of me. Fix SRA racings. So that we can get that working properly without any hitches. I see Frank Griffith there in the 54 Army Machine tonight. Right behind him, the 87 of Andy Patton. And then you got that Motocraft 11 up there on the outside of D.B. Runkle as well. They roll down here in the corner number 1 and 2. Side by side, great run there by Ricky Barbray. Coming off the corner, Corey Bigley ends up there fighting for second with Frank Griffin. As Andy Patton's on the high side there, working through 3 and 4 with Parmalee underneath. D.B. Runkle still just trying to get that T-bird to figure out where it feels comfortable back here at the back. Now we are all there off Nashville Fairgrounds, corner number 2 down that back straightaway. 9 laps to go. Bigley there in second, and they will keep it rolling there in the Red Bull 58. Bigley hangs on to second place. Looks like Frank Griffith might have had some issues down there on the bottom side now. Off of the racing service, so I don't know if he'll get a caution or not, and they come rolling around there. As Frank Griffith, Greg Parmalee, and D.B. Runkle kind of get tangled up there. And there we see D.B. Runkle and Greg Parmalee up there in the top of turn 1 and 2. Take a look here first at Frank Griffith. Down here in the corner 3 and 4 as he goes for the pass underneath. And it just kind of kicks out there on the bottom. Going to slide it there along the bottom edge. And we'll see what happens to Greg Parmalee and D.B. Runkle coming here in the corner number 1 and 2. Looks like we got Runkle coming there, looking to the outside, and just not enough room there. I don't think Runkle knew he was that close there, coming off the corner. And it just kind of took the air off of the back, maybe neck coated just a little bit. And the 04 goes up into the outside wall across the nose of D.B. Runkle. They get lined back up. Here we go. Lights off. First caution here of heat number 2. Thank you to our sponsors. You see up there in the corner, 4C's Towing Equipment, Regal Wraps and Designs, DV Printing, something Construction, if I remember, High Side Bodies. Down there in the corner, number 1 and 2 they go. Up there on the high side they go. Corey Bigley there out front, trying to hang on to the lead. Barbray there underneath him though. There you see Runkle's there in third, Patton in fourth. Frank Griffith and Greg Parmalee back there at the back, and they roll it down there through turn 1 and 2. 4 laps to go here in heat number 2 of your street stock division. And stay tuned as we'll have the late model stocks coming up here in just a little bit. As they tag coming there off turn 4. Andy Patton sitting third. Frank Griffith now battles there with D.B. Runkle. Runkle's on that outside lane. Rolling there now off corner number 2 down that back straightaway. The 2 T-Birds fight for that position. That is battle for fourth as you watch D.B. Runkle on the high side. Almost having to surrender a little bit there to Frank Griffith as he looks back to the inside. Coming there in the corner number 1. And there they go, off of 2 down that back straightaway. Barbray out front, Bigley there in second. Andy Patton there in third. Barbray started on pole, doing everything he can to keep it out there on that pole position, to get him out the outside starting position of the street stocks here tonight as it's final lap for Ricky Barbray, Corey Bigley, and Andy Patton, your top 3 here in heat number 2. They roll it through 3 and 4. Down here now, off of the corner. And in the corner, number 1 they go as they come across. It was Ricky Barbray getting that win here in heat number 2. Andy Patton there in second. Or, I'm sorry, in third. Corey Bigley in second. So here is your finishing order of your heat number 2. Ricky Barbray getting that win. Corey Bigley there second. Andy Patton third. Frank Gribbett for D.B. Rungle there fifth. Greg Parmerly there in sixth. We get them on here. We're going to get with your 2 heat winners. Which are going to be, let's see here, Jeff Clifton. Good evening there, Jeff. How's it going? Yeah, you got a copy there, Jeff? Hello. Oh, is it working? Hello? I don't know if I got a copy with Jeff or not. And heat number 2, that should have been Ricky Barbray. Good evening there, Ricky. You got a copy? Maybe, wait a moment. Wait, do I have... Maybe that helps. I don't know. Maybe I'm not hearing something. Are you there now? Oh, man. I don't hear either one of these guys. All right, give me a moment here. We're going to get to the bottom of something here. Good evening. Does anybody have a copy to the broadcaster here?
I got you.
We do.
All right.
I got you.
All right.
Jeff's PC shit to bed temporarily.
Okay. What about Ricky Barbray? We got him ready?
I'm here.
All right.
Ricky's here. He's here.
Good evening here, Ricky. You got me now?
Yep, I got you.
All right, man. How's it going? Had a pretty good run out there for heat number 2. What do you expect going into the feature tonight?
Yeah, I normally don't run the street stocks. This is the first street stock race I've done with this league. So I noticed a lot of the fast guys that run the late models that run these street stock cars. So I figured I'd give it a try. But that was fun, you know. We were racing hard there. So if it's anything like how that second heat was, I'd say the people are going to be in for a show.
Yeah, you definitely had a great race out there. I know you had to do all you could to hang on to your starting position there, but I mean, you looked strong out there. The car looked really strong, and you know, do you think you have to make any changes going into the feature tonight?
Yeah, you know, it's with these big heavy cars, it's all about not burning up your tires. So hopefully we can save a little bit and come up towards the end and get the win.
Alrighty, well, you running the late model stock?
Yep, we'll be there in the late model.
Alrighty, well, before you go, hop into that. You got sponsors, shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting that victory of heat number 2 here in the street stocks.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Kirkpatrick Construction for sponsoring the street stocks, and all the sponsors that put into this league. This is a pretty awesome deal that Frank's got going on here, and shout out to you for broadcasting, and looking forward to the racing coming up tonight.
Alrighty, well, great job, and we'll look forward to seeing how you do in the late model stocks coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Ricky Barbray. And Frank, I believe I heard that Jeff is having computer issue?
Yeah, he's having engine trouble right now. We're trying to get him back in here, but realistically, we're ready to go when you are. Just let me know when you're ready.
All righty, we'll take a short commercial break, and we'll be ready here momentarily. We'll be back here at Nashville Fairgrounds momentarily. Don't go anywhere. More racing coming up.
Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back. Only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right. Well, let's see how it goes. We're live back here from Nashville Fairgrounds, waiting for them to grid up the street stocks. Or sorry, we just finished street stock heats. Now we're waiting for the late model stock heats to come up. Heat one's coming up here to the grid. Oh. Sorry about that. Now you gotta. Forgot I had to change that over. There we go. Now we're cooking. So, here is your Heat 1 grid. We got Steve Rex out there on pole. Starting there in second, Ricky Barbray in the number 29. Jeff Clifton there in third. Frank Griffin in the 54 for Stinger Motorsports starting fourth. Andy Patton in the 87 starts fifth. Greg Parmalee there in the 04 starts sixth. And Tim McDowell starts seventh here tonight. So Jeff Clifton, he's starting a little bit back from where we might have saw him there earlier. He's there in the third place. Got to get around the front of the leaderboard here. We got the 70 of Steve Rex out there and Ricky Barbray up there on the top side. Now, Ricky Barbray, remember, he got second place, or he's starting in that position pretty much on the feature out of the street stock as he got the heat win there in heat number 2 of the street stocks, coming here into heat number 1 of your heat number 1 of your late model stock. The hit here in corner number 1 and 2. Up there on the high side, Ricky Barbray, Stephen Rex there in second. Jeff Clifton there in third. We already got a caution as Andy Patton going around out here, coming out of turn number 2. Bringing you your first caution of your late model stocks. They work down here through 1 and 2. You see the 87 there on the bottom. Just gets on the apron and somehow gets a little loose there. Oh, and he gets tagged by Greg Parmalee. Not sure what damage is there on the corner of that machine. As Greg Parmalee gives him a pretty good hit there coming out of turn number 2 to finish him off. Here we go now. Getting lined back up once again. There's side by side. Lights go off. Rex out front. Barbray there in second. Jeff Clifton sitting there in third underneath of Frank Griffin. Working down that back straightaway here, side by side. Ready to get back with the green flag here for your Honky Tonk Highway 100. For the complete Honky Tonk 150 here tonight as they come off corner number 3. Down here across the start finish line. 9 laps to go. And we got Rex down there on the bottom side, getting out there in front. Here comes Clifton there in third. Down underneath, but it's showing he's a lap down here on my scoreboard. Not sure exactly why. There he goes. Now he's back into a spot of third. Must be having a little bit of connection issue there out of the number 15 tonight. He works there underneath Ricky Barbray. Great looking paint scheme there on the number 29 Mustang here tonight. They work down the front straightaway. Frank Griffin there in fourth. Greg Parmalee fifth. Tim McDowell up there in the 45 machine. Andy Patton still sits in the pits as they work down here. Off turn number 3 and 4. Off of 4 here across the line. Stephen Rex there out front. Ricky Barbray there in second. Jeff Clifton in third as Frank Griffin works there in fourth. 6 laps to go here for Steve Rex as he works around off of corner number 4. He's got Barbray there in second. Clifton there in third. So great run here by these drivers so far as they roll it on out here. Keeping everything rolling the best they can. Barbray and Clifton work there second and third. Griffin back here in the fourth. And look out. Clifton getting a little loose there through 3 and 4. That's going to allow Griffin to close in a little bit there in that 54 Army machine as they work down the back straightaway. And Clifton getting all kind of loose now coming there out of corner number 2. See if he gets loose again out of 4. He does seem like he's trying to handle a loose race car there in third place as Steve Rex is out there in the front. Heading there in the 3 and 4. Barbray there in a second. Clifton hanging there in third. That car looks like it wants to step out once again. I don't know what's going on under the hood of that number 15 of Jeff, but he is having some issues here tonight with his cars, and Hopefully he can get it straightened out before we get into the features, but we will have to wait and see as Steve Rex comes out of turn 4. White flag in the air for heat number 1 as they work here in the corner number 1 at Nashville Fairgrounds. Clifton still hangs on to that machine there in the third. Pulled away now from Griffith. McDowell there in the 45. Parmalee in the pits after having some issues. And off the corner they go. Steve Rex out there in front gets that win. Ricky Barbray there in the second. Clifton there in third for your top 3 here in heat number 1 of your late model stock. Here comes your winning order. Steve Rex, Ricky Barbray, Jeff Clifton at third, Frank Griffith fourth, Tim McDowell there in fifth, Greg Parmalee sixth, and Andy Patton there in seventh. The grid for heat number 2, Corey Bigley out there in the number 58, starting out there on pole. Bobby Hamilton there in the number 25, starting in second. Aaron Longworth in the 42 will roll off there in third. Jason Steptoe there in fourth in the number 50. Does not look like Hamilton's going to take the grid here. Craig Bristol in the number 39 starts there in fifth with D.B. Rungle in sixth here tonight. But that outside row going to move up a spot, so DB's going to actually start in fourth tonight. Now they get rolling here out of the corner. There you see the 58 Bigley in that in that lead position. Jason Steptoe to his outside. They work there now off the corner. Aaron Longworth there in the 42. D.B. Runkle there to the outside. Craig Bristol back there in fifth. And now keep it going there now through turn 1 and 2. D.B. Runkle kind of going a throwback to his scheming race whenever he did have a pro stock. It's kind of why the car is all black with that red back spoiler. And Corey Bailey takes up to that lead. The 50 of Jason Steptoe there in second. Aaron Longworth there in third. Craig Bristol there in fourth. Down there on the bottom. Runkle's back here in that Motorcraft number 11 trying to get a feel for that car here tonight. I believe it's the first time he's had the opportunity to get that car out on track with some of these drivers. Besides practice here tonight, I'm not sure if he brought it out at all during the week or not to get a little bit more seat time. And we got D.B. Runkle back here at the back, getting spun around there in corner number 3 and 4. Take a look at what happened here. I see them all bunched up there on the start. And see if we can get here a clearer picture of what exactly might have happened. As there you see Runkle down on that bottom side. Comes there down off of 2, down here into 3 and 4. Dives it in here just a little too hard and sweeps. Oh, man, there's what happened. He caught that inside wall, and oh, man, that hurts. Yeah, it looks like he has some blown motor parts on that number 11. All right, thank you there, Jeff, for letting us know, and we'll see how it plays out from here on. And green flag back in the air, and now we're down to 4 out of the 11. Tries to see if they got the parts in the truck to fix that machine before getting into the main event here tonight. Jason Steptoe's there in second, fight with Longworth. Longworth down there on the inside in that number 42. Steptoe on the outside, the 39 there at Bristol, back and forth. And we're down there off turn 1 and 2, 7 laps to go. Bigley out front, Longworth there second, Bristol there in third. We got Jason Steptoe now having issues there. Not exactly sure what happened to bring out caution number 2. And you watch them here side by side. Steptoe on that outside. And the 50 just steps out of line up there across top. Great job there. Not getting into the outside lane, keeping it straight. Might have scuffed the tires just a wee little bit, but not enough to really hurt things here in the heat race. So he should be able to get back going here. We got Bigley and Longworth now your front row. Third sits Craig Bristol there in the 39. Jason Steptoe in the 50 up there on the high side. After kind of sliding off a 2 in a kind of weird action there out of the 50 as it broke loose on exit. Did a great job locking it down though, keeping it off the wall, keeping it from hitting anything else to be able to get it rolling. Yeah, we kind of figured that one there, Runkle. Runkle is confirming motor change in the number 11 as he took a really hard hit there to the pit entrance wall. Down through the front straightaway, Corey Bigley there in front gets a great start. Longworth there in second. Okay, here we got Craig Bristol there in third. Jason Steptoe in fourth. And they keep it rolling there out of turn 3 and 4. 42, Longworth, Craig Bristol there in third, Steptoe in fifth. And I'm kind of seeing the opposite here tonight, maybe a little bit, with Nashville Fairgrounds, as it looks like the street stocks might have had a little bit better grip than what these late models do here tonight, as the late model stocks seem to be wanting to kind of drift their way through the corner a little bit. Seems like they're hanging a little loose here through middle and off of the corner. And we'll have to wait and get a driver's viewpoint on that as we got 4 laps to go here in heat number 2. As Bigley works there off corner at number 4. Aaron Longworth there second. Jason Steptoe after stepping out there, he has it in 4th. Trying just to keep it under his belt as the race progresses here. Corey Bigley coming here through 3 and 4, coming to 2 to go as they come across the line. Here for heat number 2, Longworth, Bristol, Steptoe back here in a 4th. There you're watching Longworth there. He's got company from Craig Bristol. I don't know if Bristol has anything for him though. Let it come down there in the 3 and 4. Coming off here. It'll be 1 to go as they come across the line. As Barney's got that white flag unfurled. It waves. White flag for Corey Bigley in heat number 2. Aaron Longworth there in second. Craig Bristol third. Jason Steptoe there 4th. As you see, D.B. Rungo and Bobby Hamilton in the pits or in the garage, as they either did not start or sits out due to other issues. And are coming across Corey Bigley getting that win here in heat number 2, driving the number 58 Red Bull Toyota down the back straightaway. Going to bring it back around here to the front finish line. Great job there by these drivers. Unfortunate for a couple of them, but as others having that great job there. We got Corey Bigley there in getting that win. Aaron Longworth there in second. Craig Bristol third. Jason Steptoe 4th. D.B. Runkle 5th. Bobby Hamilton there in 6th. Yeah, we get set to rock and roll here. Let's see how it goes. And we'll get with your Heat 1 winners. Starting with Steve Rex. I believe was Heat 1. As we'll bring up the results as we interview these drivers. Yes, Steve Rex. Good evening there, Steve. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, and man, you were able to hold off both Barbray and Clifton, both of which had wins here tonight already in the street stocks, and you hold them off to get the win here in the late model stocks, heat number 1.
Yeah, the car felt really good. It's a little loose on the bottom. There's that little dip in the track, and my goal was try to get a good jump, get out front by myself, and move a lane higher so I can miss that bump. And once I did that, the car was on rails.
Well, and kind of take us through. It looks like these cars seem a little looser than the street stocks tonight.
Yep, the late models are loose, especially on the bottom, so you got to feather it. If you come up the track a little bit, it's better. As the run goes on, it's a 100-lap race, probably by lap 30, they'll be handling fine. The street stock's tight right off the bat. I'm not sure of the laps on that, but I bet once we get about 30 laps into it, she's going to be a little tight.
Well, I mean, I don't know. How would you rather have the cars set here for Nashville? I mean, it's an interesting track, it seems.
Yeah, it's a fast track. It's racy. You're going to see a lot of side-by-side, especially in the street stocks. That outside line is actually faster, especially with the tight setup. But me personally, I like a loose setup and rather just feather it through the corner and, keep the rear end underneath me. That'll be the plan tonight. The car is going to get loose in the late models, and it's going to be a battle just to keep the right rear on the car for 100 laps.
Alrighty, well, you got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting that Heat 1 win here in the late model stock.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my teammates over at Riding Dirty, my main sponsor, Rex's Garage, and Sukup Signature Concrete.
All right, congrats again, Steve, and we'll let you get back to making sure you get that car set the way you need it for the feature event coming up later.
All right, thank you. Nice talking to you.
All right, that was Steve Rex. Now we'll get with your Heat 2 winner, which will be Corey Bigley. Corey Bigley here. Good evening there, Corey. You there, Corey?
Yep, I got you.
Oh, man, how's it going?
Good.
Well, you hang on there for the win here in Heat number 2 of the late model stock. So if my memory serves correctly, we have 4 different winners here tonight so far.
Yep.
So great job hanging on to the win there for Heat number 2, and kind of take us through your thoughts, because it does seem like these late models, as we were talking there to Rex, it seems these late models are just on the loose side tonight.
They are a little free, or like early they are. You just can't. If you overdrive it, you will slide the right rear, and it will get free on you. I did that the last lap. I just tried something and I overdrove it into 3, and still didn't hurt myself. I only lost about a 10th, but I was just trying to see how hard I could drive it in the last corner. But I'm not doing that in a race. I just tried it.
Alrighty, well, great job there, and we'll see how things go. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that Heat 2 win here with the SRA late model stocks?
Yeah, I gotta thank just Allstinger Motorsports for having me here and racing with everybody. And then for you to putting it on so I can watch it and go back and watch all of this.
Alrighty, well, congrats there, and we'll see how it goes the rest of the night there, Corey. Good luck.
Thanks, and I hope I can talk to you again after this.
All right, we'll see.
All right.
All right, that's Corey Bigley. Now we'll see if we can get with Jeff, our Heat 1 winner of your street stocks. Good evening there, Jeff. How's it going?
I mean, it's going all right. Let's hope that it stays this way.
Did somebody jinx you again this week?
I think so. I think Frank was in the back doing some voodoo or something. I'm up there in points with him now, so he's trying everything he can.
Well, we heard rumors that you might be out there with the trophy girls already.
We've been getting kind of close, yeah.
Well, man, great job out there in Heat number 1 of the street stocks. And what do you think of the cars tonight? It looks like street stocks for a change look like they're a little on the tight side compared to the late model stocks.
Oh yeah, the late models are really loose. I'm having a lot of trouble there. We're just going to try and keep it clean in the late model race, but street stocks, I feel like street stocks is going to be pretty decent as far as racing goes. I mean, we saw in both heats it was side by side racing pretty consistently, so I think it's going to be pretty fun. We're just going to try and save tire and see if we can hold everybody off.
Well, great job there, Jeff. And you got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank, or people you need to give a shout-out to leave stuff alone maybe for you the rest of the night, and for getting that victory there in heat one of the street stock division.
Oh yeah, well first we'll give a shout out to Frank so that he can stop trying to jinx us. He puts in a lot of work, and this week he's been going a little further than normal as far as like putting up the features and whatnot, because the last few weeks has been kind of hectic in between trying to get everything set up smoothly and trying to make sure that everybody's in the right spot that they're supposed to be. iRacing is not the most user-friendly as far as putting up sessions, so I know for firsthand it's kind of a pain in the neck to do. We'll thank Black Acid Apparel, who just came on. I believe it was last week they came on with us. That's a cool sponsor to have. They're pretty big in the racing community, so it's cool to have a larger name, more recognizable name with the league. That gives us a lot of traction going forward, so it's fun. We're excited to see what they can do. Let's see, Kirkpatrick Construction, we'd like to thank them for being on with us all season, as well as 4C's Tools and Equipment. They've been with us since the beginning. And I believe High Side Bodies and Fabrication came on with us around the same time as Black Acid. So the new sponsors, it's great to have as many names as possible come in and help us with this. I mean, we'll see how far we go with this next season and the seasons after that. Hopefully we get to be one of the big leagues on iRacing.
Well, we might be working there. As I'm hearing rumors of a couple different divisions maybe trying to make their debut at someday, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun no matter what.
Well, you guys always do, and it seems like you always have a great group of guys here. And can't wait to see how the rest of your night goes there, Jeff. Hopefully you can keep the engines under it and keep them going forward. So good luck the rest of the night.
I appreciate it.
All right, that's Jeff Clifton, your winner of the Street Stock Division. We'll be back here in a moment with your feature of the Street Stocks. So don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up.
You down. These late nights turn to days. Don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back. Only half of your if it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
Back here live from Nashville Fairgrounds, getting ready for your street stock event. Hey, driver, get ready to rock and roll it here with your street stocks. There you see Ricky Barbray sitting there in the pits, ready to go. Corey Bigley, Steve Rex, Andy Patton. It's definitely been good racing there so far tonight. I can definitely agree there, the pro, as everybody gets ready here for your main event here. Honky Tonk Highway 50 tonight. Aaron Longworth, they're getting that pole position after his win. Wait a moment, something's not right here. We're going to wait for him to get out on track, I think, as things aren't adding up right to where they should be. Barbray's in the correct spot. Clifton is not. See if that changes here as they come out onto the track, unless that is where Clifton's going to start. See there? Nope, he is going to come around there. So Jeff Clifton going to be out there on the pole. So Jeff Clifton starting there on pole, so a little bit change there with your grid. So Clifton and Barbray out there on the front row. Steve Rex there will start third. Corey Bigley in fourth. Jason Steptoe fifth. Andy Patton will start in sixth tonight. Aaron Longworth there in seventh. Frank Griffin, he's back there starting in eighth. With Tim McDowell driving at number 45 there in ninth. D.B. Rungle in the 11 up there on the outside starting 10th. Craig Bristol in the number 39 starts in 11th. Greg Parmalee there in 12th. I believe that is all your drivers. Yes, it is. That is your 12-car field here tonight. Aaron Longworth not taking the field here tonight. Clifton and Barbray out there on the pole here, out there on that front row. A couple Monte Carlos. You got a Monte Carlo there, or you got another row of Monte Carlos there behind them. They roll there through turn 1 and 2. Up there on that high side, Steve Rex looks to the middle of the track. Clifton out front, trying to see if he can get that car to hang on. There comes Barbray, giving him a little bit of a nudge. Coming into corner number 3 and 4. Heading out here onto the front stretch. There we got the tower working just fine for us here for Nashville Fairgrounds. With the Honky Tonk 50 here out of corner number 2 down that back straightaway. They work here now out of 3 and 4. The 70 there of Steve Rex on the bottom. And you watch him work through 3 and 4. Bigley back here in the 4th. Jason Steptoe there in 5th with Andy Patton 6th. He's side by side there with Frank Griffith. Frank Griffith down there on the bottom side. Working now here through 3 and 4. Tim McDowell back here in 8th. Craig Bristol and Greg Parmalee rounding out your top 10. They keep it rolling there off of turn number 2. 50 laps the distance here for your street stock race. 100 laps for your dirt late or for not sorry, not dirt. Your late model stocks. Well, thank you, Ingram, for catching us there on the stream. Too bad you couldn't be here to try to battle it out with some of these guys, but sounds like you're having a good time where you're at there in Twin Peaks. So as they come down there off turn number 2, lap 6 on the board. Clifton out front. Rex there in 2nd. Barbray there in 3rd. Bigley 4th. Steptoe there in 5th. They keep working on out through there. Great job there for Frank Griffith there in 7th. McDowell there in 8th. Craig Bristol back here in 9th. Greg Parmalee sitting in 10th. Down that back straightaway, Clifton still hangs on to that lead. But he's got a mirror full of Monte Carlos coming there behind him. Steve Rex, Ricky Barbray, Corey Bigley, all trying to battle their way up there into those top 3 positions. 8 laps of 50 on the board. They keep it working down there now. Out of the backstretch, here comes Rex Garage, number 70. On the high side, looks there, no move. Looks to the inside a little bit. Still stays tucked in behind of Clifton, but he's going to have some company there real soon. From the 29, Ricky Barbray, they work here in the corner number 3 and 4. Up off the corner they go as you watch the 29. There behind the 70 of Steve Rex. Bigley there behind Barbray. Down in the corner 3 and 4. Barbray taking a shot down to the inside, trying to get down on that lower end of the racetrack. And we heard some of these drivers say that possibly as this race progresses, you might see a couple of them move up the racetrack to find a little bit better groove along with keeping the momentum built up. These cars tighten up here around Nashville Fairgrounds tonight. So it could be an interesting night as you watch Barbray there in 3rd. Bigley there in 4th. Steptoe back here in a 5th in that Camaro as he works down the back straightaway. Andy Patton in 6th. Frank Griffith there in 7th as you watch him roll there out. Down there now off the corner. Working across the stripe. Griffith there in 7th right now with Craig Bristol there in 8th. Tim McDowell there in 9th. Greg Parmalee, he's getting up there. He's going to try to battle for 9th position here possibly. He gains on Tim McDowell. Looking to the inside. Not enough room there yet. You got a couple more of Monte Carlos battling out. Here comes that T-Bird of D.B. Rungle into the picture. He starts to find a groove there. As these two battle it out there in front of him, Greg Parmalee and Tim McDowell. And Parmalee goes and gets a great run, and since the door is open, DB's going to say thank you and move his way up there into the top 10 now. Off of corner number 2 they go. There you see Barbray and Rex working down the back straightaway. Clifton out there in the front. Bigley there in 4th. Steptoe back here in the 5th. And you see all 3 models of your street stocks out here right now. Yeah, you got the Monte Carlo. You got the 4th Thunderbird there. Rungle. You got also the Camaro. Now you see a couple of them running out there. I think Patton's running the Camaro. Yep. Now he gets into the outside wall just a little bit. Hey, Frank Griffith running that T-Bird down there on the bottom side. off through 3 and 4. Great job so far. You see them work there. Off corner number 1 and 2 they go. Up there on the top side. Steve Rex there in second. Ricky Barbray there third. Corey Bigley in fourth. Jason Steptoe there in fifth as they work down there on the bottom to work up off. And I got to look there at Clifton. I'm not sure. I want to say, I can't tell what grill's on the front of that machine there. They work down there off the corner. Steve Rex working underneath here at lap number 20. And this is kind of what we were wondering about, getting side by side there as we see the 58. Bigley getting underneath Barbray. Back here, Griffith, Bristol, Andy Patton looking here. Greg Parmerly here in 9th. Davey Rongo rolling around here in 10th with Tim McDowell back here in 11th. Keeping it rolling though, off corner number 2 down the back straightaway. 30 laps to go for your Honky Tonk Highway 50 here tonight with your dirt, or I keep calling them dirt street stocks. You see, I don't know where my mind's at. With your street stock division here on the asphalt side of things on the pole as they roll here off a turn 2 down the back straightaway. You got Barbray there in third, Rex out there in second, Clifton trying to roll his way there off the start to get and hang on to it, but Rex really wants to see what he can do to upset Clifton in that lead spot as there's a train right there. I'm going to say that Clifton's got to try to make sure he doesn't do too much here to move his spots or really screw much up for himself, as he's got a train ready to pass him there behind him. So if he gives up his spot just a little bit, it could be a freight train on the bottom, but we'll see there as Steve Rex is getting underneath them there, coming off corner number 2 down here through 3 and 4. We'll see what type of help he gets down there on the bottom. As Rex still hangs on to second place there behind. There behind Clifton as they work down through the front straightaway. And through turn 1 and 2. Great job by these drivers. Up there on the high side, Steve Rex, Ricky Barbray, Jeff Clifton there in front. Corey Bigley there in fourth. Jason Steptoe there in fifth. Down there now in 3 and 4. The 70 of Rex back to third. Now the high side starts to come alive. There behind Clifton. That's going to open it up there for Barbray. And here comes Bigley now working on that high side of Rex. Rex dropped back to fourth at the moment. There you want him here off turn 3 and 4. Heading out there into the front straightaway. He's got to really put a gap over 5th place, Jason Steptoe. Steptoe, Frank Griffith back here by him, lonesome at the moment. There you see Bristol. Greg Parmalee, Andy Patton, D.B. Rungel back here. And Tim McDowell, he's got all kind of just racing around the speedway. Nobody to really race with at the moment. All the action is in the top 4. Up there at the front, just look how the top 4 battle it out down through the back straightaway. You got Bigley coming there in third. Rex back here on the top side. Little nudge there. Got to hang on to it. They're very close. Coming there off of 4. Those Monte Carlos all battling for positions. They're through 1 and 2 now. As you watch the 58 getting up the racetrack just a little bit. Gets into the side of the 29 and they work down the back straightaway. Working now into 3 and 4. Craig Bristol going around here. Going to end up in the pits, bringing out your first caution of the night for your street stock division here at SRA. So the 39 going to end up pulling off down there on the bottom. And bringing out the caution. Jeff Clifton, still your race leader. Barbray there in second. Bigley there in third. And I don't know if this is going to help them at all, since these cars handle so differently here tonight. I don't know if running the street stock is going to help any of these drivers or not. As DB Rowe gets up there in the ninth, getting around McDowell. And we saw Craig Bristow pull off there. I think Craig Bristol might have been in front of Runkle at the time that he brought it down into the pits. And there you see Bigley and Barbray. That's second and third. Clifton's there in the front. Pace lights should go out this time. And they come across the line. Appreciate everybody out there watching here at FFTV on the pole here tonight. As we bring you the SRA Racing League from Nashville Fairgrounds tonight. Helium Doll double up. Jeff Clifton out there as the control car out front there in the lead right now. You got the 58 there of Ricky Barbray sitting third right behind him. We'll see how this goes here on this restart as they're under 25 to go. I believe I was seeing things right. Oh, we're under 20 to go here. It was 17 laps to go here, or 19 laps to go, sorry, here in your main event as they work through corner 1 and 2. Down the back straight away they go. The 29, Ricky Barbray, working on the high side of Jeff Clifton. And Clifton can't quite get up there to the high side. Now here comes Steve Rex up there on the high side as well. And the 50 of Jason Steptoe trying to stay with the mix there in in fifth place. Now they still battle it out there for that top spot. Clifton and Barbray. Right now, Barbray out in front just by about a half a car. Now he gets the full car length and gets clear of Clifton down through turn 3 and 4. Clifton falling back into second now, and Barbray looks like he wants to make a shot at him on the inside this time. Clifton unsure of which lane he really needs to put that car. Bigley looks like he's going to make that inside work here, going into 3 and 4 possibly. Can't quite do it as Clifton gets right up there on the bumper of the 29. Going to hook the bumpers together. Coming off, 15 laps to go. Here comes Rex now underneath of Bigley. He's going to squeeze it underneath. Man, oh man, what a race we got up front here. As these guys really don't want to give up positions. There you see Rongo right behind Andy Patton. Parmalee Griffith. And then right there you see Steptoe. Just hanging back just enough off of these front guys. Not sure exactly how it's going to play out there. You never know. Working there now off corner number 4. Or working down here into corner number 3 and 4. Up there on that high side. Corey Bigley, Ricky Barbray, Jeff Clifton out there in the front. As you watch the 58 there of Bigley. Working down there on the bottom side. Ricky Barbray up there on the outside. Clifton there in second. Trying to get back there to the lead on that bottom side, but can't quite get there. Now we got Ricky Barbray there in second. Corey Bigley there third. Steve Rex there for it. Jason Steptoe there fifth. Frank Griffith in the Army Machine back there in sixth. Greg Parmalee there in seventh. Andy Patton there in eighth. D.B. Rummel back here in ninth as they keep it rolling. Off through turn 3 and 4. And now Bigley looks to see if he can get underneath here to push it 3 wide. Can't quite get there. He'll end up right behind Rex working that top side there above Bigley. Cannot make that quite work because these guys are all stacked up coming here into 3 and 4. 11 laps to go, soon to be 10 as they work there now out of the corner. And oh boy, look how tight it's going to get. Barbray looks to the inside there. Or I'm sorry, no, that's Bigley working there to the inside possibly of Clifton and Barbray. Barbray gets out there to a nose there now through 3 and 4. Man, oh man, look at this two-wide action here tonight as they roll there off 3 and 4. Frank back here in 6, watching all this in front of him. And you got the 58 there in a Bigley right there behind Clifton. I'm wondering if one of these guys in the back second row here are going to try the old short track bump and run it all, but we'll have to wait and see. They come there now off the corner. Bigley ends up falling back into 4th to try to get a run there on the outside to give that outside a little bit more momentum. There we see Rex now. He's going to jump down there to the bottom side. He's going to get underneath of Clifton as they go and squeeze play Clifton there through 3 and 4. Rex trying to make that bottom work. Now here comes Bigley once again on the bottom side. He's going to get underneath the Rex here through 1 and 2. That's going to shuffle the 29 of Barbray back here in the 4th as Clifton and Steptoe back here battle for 4th. 7 laps to go. Now they work now off turn 3 and 4. Clifton still hanging on to it out there and trying. He has to really work for this one tonight as they work him down there in the 1 and 2. That cookout number 15 drives off a 2. A little bit of bump there from Rex coming off a turn 2. Here comes the 29 underneath the Rex. That is Barbray. Barbray and Bigley there on the bottom side. Steptoe gets himself up there or holds himself there in the 5th. But right along there, 5 laps to go. Can Clifton hang on, or is somebody going to try to make a good big run here at the end? Down here through 3 and 4. Bigley making a decent run at it here on the bottom of 3 and 4. Getting right up there to the bumper of Clifton. They work there now in the corner 1 and 2. Bigley's going to get underneath of Clifton. Can he get the drive off he needs, or is Clifton hold him down? As they drag race down that back straightaway here in the corner 3 and 4. Here comes Bigley underneath, drag racing through 3 and 4. Who's it going to be coming to the line? And they're coming side by side. 3 to go. Bigley underneath of Clifton. Rex hanging on to 3rd back here. Not sure who he really wants to be behind. Barbray back here in 4th. As Bigley sitting there underneath of Clifton right now through 3 and 4. Are going to try to drag race it here. Off the corner. They pulls up even coming off. And he's got a nose there coming to the line. Bigley 2 laps to go. Man, is this going to be an exciting finish here. We got Clifton trying to hang on to that outside line. But Bigley ever so slightly getting that inside lane to work. Down there through 3 and 4. Clifton trying to hang on to it. On that bottom, here they come off the corner. We got a lap down machine. White flag in the air. He gets out of the way. That's the 45 there, Tim McDowell getting out of the way as they work their off corner number 2. Staying here with the leaders down the back straightaway. Bigley and Clifton, man, let's hear it. Who's it going to be? As it looks like that Red Bull number 58 has a nose out ahead of Clifton. And it is. It's going to be Corey Bigley to upset Jeff Clifton here in your street stock division. Jeff Clifton gave it his all, but unfortunately could not quite hold off that pack there behind him. Man, it could have been any of those drivers there in that top 5 tonight. I mean, they were just all right there. Barbray getting for us. Steve Rex there in 5th. Where'd Steptoe come from? He got himself up there into 3rd. Let's go ahead and take another look at that white flag lap. Here watching Steptoe. Steptoe somehow got himself into 3rd here. Going down through corner number 3 and 4. You're watching him come to the white flag here. We've watched the leaders, as you see, coming there off into 1 and 2. Here comes Steptoe up there to the high side. There looks to be what happened as the 29 Barbray and Rex kind of had to check up a little bit there. Look at them 3 wide through turn 3 and 4. Steptoe on the bottom. Going to give it all he's got. And Steptoe didn't get 3rd by much. Man, oh man, what a run here tonight by these drivers. They gave it their all tonight in this street stock division here at SRA. Try to get here so we can see the results. Now you see Corey Bigley getting that win. Clifton second, Steptoe third. Barbre fourth. Steve Rex there in fifth. Frank Grivet sixth. Greg Parmalee there in seventh. Andy Patton eighth. D.B. Runkle ninth. Tim McDowell there in 10th. Craig Bristol 11th. Aaron Longworth there in 12th here tonight. We're going to get here with your leader, or here with your podium of your street stock division before we get into the late model stock. We got to get with Corey Bigley, or we're going to get with, Jason Steptoe here as your third place finisher. Good evening, Jason. How's it going?
Pretty good. About yourself, man?
Man, it's going well. What a run tonight it's been here in the street stock division.
Yes, sir, man. That was an absolute blast. It was, for the first half of the race, I was kind of in no man's land. I mean, I could see the battle in front of me, the first four cars, and then there was a nice little 2-second gap between me and then behind me, Frank. So I was just kind of just riding there for about like the first 30 laps. And I'm like, man, I hope something happens to kind of have a shot there at the end. So and it kind of worked out. So
you were happy to see that caution flag fly? I
mean, I hate it for the individual that was involved in the accident that caused the caution, but I mean, personally, I wasn't too upset about it.
Well, I don't really know if it was truly an accident as we watched Craig Bristol pull off of the racetrack, and where he pulled off ended up bringing the caution flag out. So I don't know if he had something else come up or not, but hopefully everything's well with Bristol. And
yes, sir, absolutely.
So, but man, nonetheless, to take this thing here to the final thoughts. I mean, 3 wide through turn 3 and 4. You were on the bottom. Did you think you had a shot there to get third coming through that final corner?
I mean, all you can do is just point and shoot, I guess, So they kind of left me a little bit of hole coming out of turn 2, and I told myself going into 3, I'm like, I'm just going to drive it in there and see what happens. So I think the 29 kind of came up into the 70, and then from that point, it was just a drag race. I'm just looking at the replay now. I barely got him. So
you did. You barely got him, but you got him nonetheless. I mean, you got him by that bumper out there, but it was a close race.
Yes, sir. Usually in these broadcasts, only people want to interview me after I do something stupid. So it feels pretty good to be on the opposite side of that tonight, so I'll definitely take it.
Well, you didn't do nothing stupid, and you gave one hell of a finish there tonight to get third.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
So, great job. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting third place here in the street stocks?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I want to thank 4C's Tool and Equipment, Kirkpatrick Construction, DV Printing, and High Side Bodies and Fabrication. Without these guys, we wouldn't be able to be out here ripping it 9:30, 10 o'clock on a Friday evening. So without them, none of this would be possible. So thanks to Frank and everybody who's helped put this thing together, and hopefully we can give them a show with the late models.
Hopefully we'll have a similar show. I mean, this was outstanding here with your with the street stock. So great job there, Jason, and good luck in the late models.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, that was Steptoe. I will get with Clifton here, second place. Good evening here, Jeff. How's it going?
I had to pause the race there for a second. I'm watching Carson Hosmore at the moment. It's going all right. I threw that one away, I think.
You think you threw that one away, or you think you might have just got maybe a little outdrove there towards the end?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I gave Corey the inside. I thought I could defend on the outside, like I did in the heat, and the outside was just better for me all around. But I think that late in the race, tires being as old as they were, I think that it just it didn't have enough grip for the outside to work. But
well, I mean, throughout the race tonight, we've seen both lanes working for different drivers, and one driver might be able to get it to work on the inside compared to the outside a little better, or vice versa. So, I mean, you still gave it one heck of a run. I mean, you could have thrown, in those closing laps, you could have thrown a blanket over the top 5, and it could have gone to any one of you guys, really.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Everybody I think everybody in at least the top 6 were right there at the end. That caution that came out that bunched everybody back up, I think that helped out a lot with the finish, just keeping it close. And Nashville is one of those tracks where it's close racing anyway. So, I mean, second is good though. We didn't wreck it. We're happy.
You didn't wreck it, and you kept the engine underneath it.
Exactly.
We know you've struggled with some engine issues here throughout the season, a little bit here and there. So hopefully you can keep the engine underneath the late model next. You got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank for that second place finish here tonight.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's thank Black Acid Apparel, 4C's Tools and Construction, Kirkpatrick. Oh wait, no, 4C's Tools and Equipment, Kirkpatrick Construction. Let's see, Highside Fabrication, and thank you. And I think we have another one coming on soon, but I don't know the name of them. Frank will tell you. Frank will know more. But yeah, we thank those guys for everything that they do. We have fun here on Friday nights, and that's important.
Oh, it's definitely a blast here for everybody involved. And for me, I know I don't have the asphalt speed to carry me through some of these races. So, I mean, but man, what a great job there tonight for you, Jeff. And we'll see how you do there in the late model stocks coming up.
Yeah, we'll try to win it.
Well, I know you said you're struggling with it a little bit tonight, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're still going to have fun, though.
That's all that matters. All right, that's Jeff Clifton, your second place. Now we'll get with Corey Bigley. We'll see what he has to say. Good evening, Corey. How's it going?
Good.
Man, what's it feel like getting underneath him and getting the run you needed to pull out ahead of him just enough to get the win here tonight?
It was good enough because I knew the lap car kind of hurt me a little bit in the one, but I knew I could drive it in a little bit harder than him on the bottom because I knew they were driving pretty hard early. Like I said, what I usually do is don't drive that hard. I'm pretty smart about because with these things do burn tires, and I was trying to because I seen a lot of guys run up top. I tried it early. Like I didn't try it early. I tried it about mid run. I rolled the top on the 70. I rolled by him, and then it was so hard to pass when we all got like all bunched up, like all back to back, and I just had to. That one caution helped me when they made it 3 wide in front of me. That helped me because I knew how to go, and then I knew Jeff started getting tight because he said he already started getting tight on the bottom, and I just had to wait so long to get in the gas and from him from getting in front of me because. That's why I went from the bottom to the top, so I made sure I didn't get passed when I was running third. And I just knew I had enough momentum to roll by 2 second, and then when I got to his inside, I knew pretty much I had enough tires still left over. I was a little tight, but not as tight as he was because I could roll the center a little bit better than he could, getting in both corners.
Well, you did a great job on that bottom to secure that win, and I mean, they were battling it hard behind you, too. I mean, it was that top 5, top 6, I mean, really gave it their all tonight. And very pleased with the performance you guys put out there.
When I got clear of the 70 on the bottom, I knew I can get behind him, and then I seen he stayed up top. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to the bottom and drive by him because that's almost the best way here because you will hurt the tires on the bottom, but I was, like I said, a little snug, but I wasn't as tight as he was because I was about to me, I was about I don't know about a tenth or I was a little bit faster than him on the long run too, because I seen them start to just drive hard. I was just pacing with them early on. That's it, not driving as hard as they were.
Well, I mean, it definitely shows about how patience can definitely help you out as you got it rolling there, and you got sponsors, shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting the victory here in the street stocks tonight.
Yeah, I gotta thank 4C's Tools and Equipment, Kirkpatrick Construction, sponsoring the series, and then I forgot 2 already, but yeah, I gotta thank the other 2 sponsors. I know it's Black Tea and Apparel, and then I don't know what the other one. I heard him say it, but I just got to think, and then I got to thank you guys for like Frank putting us on, because he putting us on so I can have a little fun on Fridays when I'm here, and then I just got to thank all my Stinger guys too.
Alrighty, well, great job, and we'll see what you got in the late model stocks coming up if you're still racing those.
Yes, I am, and those are my favorite. You should know about that.
Alrighty, well, good luck in those, and we'll get ready to switch over to that division here in just a moment. So, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back after this commercial break as we get them fired up and ready for your late model stocks. The Honky Tonk Highway 100 coming up right after this break. So don't go anywhere. We got a lot more racing coming up.
You down, 'cause late nights turn to days. Don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back. Only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, back here from Nashville Fairgrounds. As you see, we got the late model stocks out here trying to get things going. We'll see. There we go. All right. See who we got here sitting in the pit. We got Steptoe sitting down here in the number 50. Had a great run there in the street stocks to get himself into third. Hey, driver did a great job. We got Axel there in the 83. Ready to rock and roll here tonight. Looks like we got maybe 12, no. So it looks like I got 10 drivers maybe. They're just waiting on, I think, one other driver to make sure he gets unloaded and ready to rock and roll here at Nashville. Probably go for a little bit of that right now in some orange juice. That big machine vodka. If somebody wants to bring some up here to the booth inside some orange juice, that'd be pretty good right now. As we get ready to rock and roll from, like we said, Nashville Fairgrounds tonight. It's been quite the show here so far. As we saw first and second battling it out there to the line. Third, fourth, and fifth, you didn't know who was going to come ahead of that one, and that was this guy right here, Jason Steptoe, bringing it home in third place. They're in the street stock division.
All right, Adam, you got a copy?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. As soon as I got the last guy coming in, we'll be good.
Sounds good. We got the last guy showing up here. That'll give us a total of 11 drivers here for the street stock division tonight. 100 laps the distance. Here for the Honky Tonk 100. Brought to you by 4C's Tools and Equipment. We have other sponsors as well. Kirkpatrick Construction, bringing you the street stock division of the night. We got other sponsors as well as DB Printing for all the social media stories that you'll see about SRA. Hill Wraps and Designs, one of the paint shops that work alongside SRA. $10 will get you a SRA paint job, but you have to be within the SRA league to get that special pricing. High side bodies. Steve Rex out on track, giving it a few laps here in that number 70. Black Acid Racing Apparel. Brand new this week, or last week rather, but they didn't race last week here on the stream, so kind of looks a little funny there for Steve Rex on his driver picture, as he's got Rex's garage, but the R and half of the E is covered up there, so it almost looks like X's garage. All right, here we go. We got everybody in here now as we got your starting grid. Steve Rex starting out there on pole after getting that win there in the late model stock heat 1. Corey Bigley winning heat number 2. That's going to get him the starting grid out there to the outside. Row number 2 to the inside to number 29 of Ricky Barbray. Rolls off third tonight. Jeff Clifton in the number 15 for Levithian Motorsports. Stinger Motorsports number 54. Frank Ribbett starts 5th tonight in the number 54. With Jason Steptoe, the number 50 for Stinger Motorsports, to his outside, starting 6th. Row number 4, right inside the 45, Tim McDowell. rolling off in 7th, driving to number 45. And then they've got the on-point racing number 11 of DB Rumble starting to his outside there in 8th. The 04, Greg Parmalee there in 9th. With Andy Patton in the 87, rolling off in 10th tonight. And rounding out your field tonight, Alex Benoit. Axel Benoit. I'm going to say is how we say that. Axel Benoit. If I say that wrong there, Axel, let me know so I can correct it. Yeah, we see we got the lights off on the machine. Ready to go racing here. We're at a Honky Tonk 100. 75 laps here for your late model division. Now through the front straightaway into corner number 1. Bigley getting a great run there on the outside, winning there in the street stock. How he's showing that he's got what it takes here in the late model stock. Oh no! Andy Patton and DB Runkle getting involved back here at the back on lap number 1, bringing out the first caution of the night for the late model stocks. We'll see what happens here with Andy Patton as Andy Patton's there on the outside. Looks like he might just get it loose, and he does. Just spins it around, collects the 45 of McDowell. And Runkle, he gets classified as being in it, all because he came to a stop. Great heads-up driving there from Runkle to get that thing stopped in time to prevent any damage to that number 11. Late model stock, because here they go. Now off corner number 2. Or I'm sorry, corner number 4. Back out here onto the front stretch. Andy Patton breaking loose. They're off a 2 to bring out caution number 1. They'll end up lining up in 10th here. He was up ahead of McDowell, but as we said, ended up getting a little bit sideways there off of 2. That's going to be one thing they're going to have to really watch as the race progresses here is I don't know if these cars are going to loosen up or tighten up. It's going to be interesting as we work through these 75 laps tonight. Now we've only completed 1 lap here in the late model stocks. Now off corner number 4 down across the line. Rex getting a better restart there on the bottom. But here comes Bigley back along that outside line. Down there off a 2. There's Parmalee working there in 7th. Steptoe there in 6th. Griffin there in 5th. Clifton, he's up there on the high side. As we heard, he struggled a little bit in the late models here tonight. Bigley, he's making a great run at it here. And he's there in 2nd. But had the lead there in front of Rex, but unfortunately did not make it around to the scoring pylon before the caution come out. That is why he ended up being dropped back into 2nd. And they work down there into corner number 1. Yeah, they work there now off a 2. Bigley working to the inside of Rex. These two really having what it takes in the late model stocks here tonight at Nashville Fairgrounds, as they are your heat winners battling it out. And they have a good 2nd lead over Barbray, who's back here in, I guess, a half-second lead here. In 3rd, Griffith 4th, Clifton falling back into 5th now. Steptoe just kind of minding his own back here in 6th. Greg Parmalee, Axel Benoit up into 8th after starting back here in 11th. Andy Patton in 9th. DB Runkle, he's falling back 2 positions as he's just barely hanging on to the top 10. There you see Tim McDowell. He's falling all the way back to 11th as they work there off turn 4. Corey Bigley with the lead. Rex there in 2nd. Barbray in 3rd. And Andy Patton once again having issues. This time he'll bring it to the pits. Caution number 2 for Andy Patton, and caution number 2 on tonight. Now you see he got loose down that back straightaway, tried to collect it, coming into corner number 3 and 4, got down on the apron, and that's going to upset it. And around he goes down there on the bottom of the speedway. And he's going to tow it back, and that might be it there for Andy Patton. And that is Andy Patton saying I'm done making a fool of myself, spinning around like a top. I'm just going to take it back to the hauler. It's probably safer that way. Bigley out there in the front. Rex there second. Barbara in third. Griffith sitting fourth. Griffith out of Childersburg, Alabama. Barbara there in third. Rex out of Shannonton, Illinois. There you got Craig Bigley out there in front. So that's going to help DB Rongo gain a spot there as Tim McDowell down there on the pitch trying to get some work done. Got Clifton working there in fifth. Steptoe there in sixth. You know, Clifton, if you weren't spending as much time with them trophy girls as I hear, and maybe focusing on the car, maybe you'd have a little bit better run here tonight. Rex out there on that outside lane trying to get a run there at Bigley, but cannot quite get it done. There on the inside comes Barbara. As Barbara had a great run there in the street stocks as well. As you see, the street stock top runners are also your late model top runners here tonight, with the exception of Clifton. As Clifton's dropped, as we said, clear back in the fifth. He's hoping that car will come to him here by the end of this. Hey, what? Roll there off turn number 2. Benoit there in 6th. Steptoe there in 7th. Parmalee there in 8th. DB Rungo back there in 9th. Inside that top 10. McDowell now a couple laps down. Sitting in the pits here tonight. As they work through 1 and 2. Barbray works there through off a 2. Griffith back here in 4th. Clifton in 5th. As you see Rex still hangs on to that 2nd spot. Not really pushing too hard there. He doesn't want to burn everything up this early in the run, as we still got a bunch of laps left here, as we have a 75-lap run. We're only on lap 11. Now, there are about, I would say, 6 to 8 laps under caution. And look out, Griffith's going around down there on the bottom side. No caution, gathers it up quickly. Keeps it rolling. That's going to bring him back into grips there with DB Rumble as DB hangs on back there in 9th. There you see your leaders there, Bigley and Rex working there off turn number 4. Barbara in 3rd, Clifton there in 4th. Now that Griffith has fallen back there. There you see Steptoe, he's sitting there 6th, but Benoit, man, oh man, what a run he's having tonight. Up 6 spots from where he started. Sitting there in the 5th and closing. Oh, man. Great save there out of Axel Benoit. He gathers that 83 back up. Coming out of turn 4, got really wicked loose, but was able to keep the power and everything underneath it. They work there, and DB Rungo now in the pits. Not sure exactly what happened to him. He crashed. He might have had a similar issue where he lost it coming out of one of the corners. Take a quick look here at DB Rungo and his misfortune here in the late model stocks. As some may know, he already had to put a new motor into this car tonight. And coming here off the corner, and he loops it around the same way that Frank did down there on the bottom side. Definitely got to keep an eye on that. Looks like Barbara, take a look at that front end on that, as I'm unsure. I think he might have a little bit of scuff marks there on the hood of that machine. I'm unsure. Yeah, that's definitely a scuff mark there on the hood of the Barbara machine. Gotta love that. And, some might not get that there in the broadcast. Some may not. Did I do that there on the back bumper of that number 29? And Jason Steptoe brought out the caution here. We'll take a look at it here. At number 50, coming here in the 3 and 4. Down there on the bottom, and we've seen this time and time again, and it's like somebody just hit the switch. And these cars just looping around coming off of 4, and there's your caution backing up there and getting it started once again. Man, oh man, these drivers tonight. I don't know if that's fully the issue there, Ronco. I want to say somebody might have dumped oil or something down there on turn 4. Because it was first Frank, then you, now Steptoe getting loose coming there out of 4. So I wonder if there's somebody playing a trick on you guys and has a little bit of a oil slick there on the bottom of 4. Bigley now out there to the lead. Barbray there in second. Rex there in third. Clifton in 4th. As they roll down the back straightaway here at lap 18, get back underway. Here through 3 and 4, who's going to bite the dust next? Here coming off of 4. Now you see Steptoe getting underneath it once again. Runkel's trying to say and putting it in his head that it was a bad shock there on the back of that machine that helped spin him around, but it's possible. I mean, I don't know. You see Barbray getting underneath a Bigley here through turn 1 and 2. I mean, these drivers look like they have their hands full here tonight. Working down there off of the corner. There's the 70 of Rex. Clifton there in a 4. Benoit there in a 5th. I don't think I got any shot of inside really, except for this here as you're on board with Axel Benoit. Working on the inside of the racetrack. You can kind of see just how much these guys are really working that wheel. Look at the wheel chatter out of Ricky Barbray there in the 29 as he works here through the corner. He's trying to keep it steady as he comes. Oh, and there you see that head rock that wheel to the right to keep the wheels underneath it. Coming off the corner. And that's what these drivers are battling coming there off the corner. They definitely got a counter steer coming there off the corner. If you don't catch it at the right point, that back end is coming around like you've seen Runkle, Patton, Griffith all do so far here tonight along with Steptoe. They work there off corner number 4. There you see Parmalee, Steptoe back there. There's Griffith. Benoit back here in 5th. Hanging out behind Clifton so far. Coming up here to almost a third of the race complete. Got one more lap, and it'll be a third of the race completed. We're now on lap 25. Down here through 1 and 2. Everybody looking great now. Off of corner number 3 and 4. Everybody there, single file. Frank Grimmett there in 6th. Parmalee there in 7th. Steptoe there in 8th. Bigley's rolling away with this one at the moment. But I'd keep an eye on this number 29 of Barbray, as I wouldn't count him out either. Some of these guys just waiting on their chance to strike. Seeing who can make the tires last for that last ditch push here at the end of this one tonight. As you see Steve Rex there in 3rd. Clifton in 4th. Axel Benoit there in 5th. Down that back straightaway. These drivers really giving it all as you watch that Mustang battle it there. And look out, there goes Steve Rex going around, bringing out the caution. And he'll loop it in the same spot that we've seen so many others do here tonight. Coming here off turn number 4 once again. We'll just watch that 70 just kind of rip up and around it go. And he'll walk it down, keeping it out of the inside wall. But, man, that's a tough break there. Steve Rex was having a great run. Yeah, Runkle, I'd definitely get with Frank and see if, one of these guys sabotaged the track. I've watched Griffith, Steptoe, Rex, yourself, Andy Patton all spin it out there through turn 3 and 4. Almost identical looking every single time. For your Honky Tonk 100 here tonight. Now, I know Barbray, he's been having to struggle there with it as well, coming there off the corner. And off the front they go here. Bigley out there in front. Barbray there in second. Clifton there in third. Axel Benoit there in the fourth. And they roll down the back straightaway here in the corner, number 3 and 4. Bigley getting out of that lead once again, but Barbray not going to let him get anywhere. Now you watch him out there. Here comes Griffith. Parmalee up there in the 6th. Benoit gets himself in the 4th now, and he works off of turn 2. In through 3 and 4, up off the corner. Bigley up there at the top side. And Barbray is there in second. We're coming around here looking great. And they work down that back straight away. Clifton, Axel Benoit, Frank Griffith here 5th. Greg Parmalee, Steptoe there in 6th. Now you want to come down there now in the 1 and 2. With Bigley there in front. Barbray there in second. Clifton there third. Axel Benoit there in 4th. Frank Griffith there in the 5th as they keep it rolling now out of the corner. Great job here by these drivers. Jason Steptoe, and look out! The 4 gets loose and into the outside wall. That's Greg Parmalee now. Breaking it loose, coming there out of turn number 4. Got to gather it back up. Got into the side of Steptoe. Steptoe doesn't seem too fazed by it as they keep it rolling out off turn number 4. As Bigley rolls there now on the back straightaway, followed by Barbray. Clifton there in 3rd. Axel Benoit there in 6th. And look out! Clifton ends up loose off of 4. Now they roll it down there off of turn 2. Bigley still hanging on to it. And we know Barbray, he's driving the wheel off of it. Coming there out of the corner. Axel Benoit now up there in the 3rd. What a job by that driver tonight. Started in 11th, now up here in the 3rd, just trying to hang on to it. Clifton here in 4th. Griffith coming here to see if he can get underneath the Clifton. Steptoe there in 6th. Rex there in 7th. Greg Parmalee there in 8th as they keep working there. And I'm just curious how well this 83 is doing. We'll take a look at the onboard here of this driver. He rolls down here through 1 and 2. See how his hands are. See if his hands are pretty smooth here. Coming here off the corner. It doesn't look like he's counter steering as hard as that number 29 of Barbray. He works there off of 2, and yeah, he definitely got that car settled in there for him as he's getting up here to the leaders, little by little. There he had to counter steer just a little bit, coming off of 4, but for the most part, staying consistent, staying smooth. So great job there by Axel. Down that back straightaway, Clifton back here in 4th. Griffith back here 5th. Steptoe back in 6th. There you see Rex along with Parmalee. Parmalee with damage on the nose of that machine. Runkle, Patton, and McDowell all out of tonight's race. Bigley works down there off of corner 3 and 4. Barbray there in 2nd. Looks like Barbray might get a run there maybe, but not quite. He tries to skate it through there, through the middle lane. Going to try a little bit higher line with a cut down exit. They work there through 3 and 4. And that's going to be the thing, is what can help you keep that car tightened up here as you get into the wall coming there off of 4. Axel there in 3rd as Griffith now in trouble. Or I'm sorry, not Griffith. Clifton in trouble there as Griffith gets around him. They're on the inside going through 1 and 2. So Griffith, after having his problem of the spin out of 4th, gathers it all back up, gets up here in the 4th. Clifton there in 5th. Jason Steptoe there in 6th. Steve Rex there in 7th. Parmalee back here in 8th as they keep it rolling. Bigley with the lead. Barbray in 2nd with Benoit there in 3rd. As Clifton continues to struggle here as he fell back behind Griffith. 45 of 75 complete. Come around here, it'll be 30 to go as they come across the line. 30 laps to go here at Nashville Fairgrounds for Corey Bigley and Ricky Barbray. Can Benoit get up here and battle at all with these 2 front runners? That is yet to be seen here as you watch that Red Bull number 58 work there through 1 and 2. Barbray there in 2nd. Axel Benoit there in 3rd. Clifton there in 4th. Working there now off of the corner. Great job here by these drivers. Keep working there. They work there off the corner. Ricky Barbray there in 2nd. Bigley there in front. Keep working there off the corner. Jeff Clifton up there on the high side. Frank Griffith there 5th. Jason Steptoe there in 6th. Greg Parmalee there 7th. Stephen Rex back here in 8th. And they keep it going. 22 laps to go here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Ricky Barbray there in 2nd. Axel Benoit there in 3rd. Clifton there 4th. Frank Griffith there 5th. Jason Steptoe here in 6th. Now they keep it rolling off the corner. Barbray has the lead and trying to see who there it is back. That is Rex. Man, what a struggle he's had here tonight. Back here at the back. Now Benoit there in 3rd. Barbray there in 2nd. Bigley there out front with a big lead there for Bigley. Barbray, Benoit, Clifton, Griffith. Griffith looked to be a little loose off turn 2 down the back straightaway once again. It looks like Griffith got a little loose and that gave the 4th spot back over to Clifton. They bring it on out. Now they're in the 1 and 2. Bigley off a 2 down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. With the lead, 18 laps to go. Gonna be 17 laps to go as Barbray's there in second. Benoit there in third. Clifton, Steptoe, Griffith, Parmalee. Parmalee way back here towards the back, as well as Rex. I see Bigley coming there, catching up to Rex. And as we said before, Runkle, Pat, and McDowell all out. Not exactly sure what caused McDowell to go out, but I do know that Bigley and, that Runkle and Patton ended up getting there off of the corner. Come there now off into 1 and 2. The drivers making their way. As the race progresses here. I see Bigley getting around lap traffic. There's Barbray back here in second. Benoit there in third. Clifton in fourth. And they keep it rolling there off of 1 and 2. Down through here in the 3 and 4. Ricky Barbray, Axel Benoit there third, Clifton there in fourth, Jason Steptoe there in fifth, Frank Ribbett there in sixth, Rex there in seventh. They say Bigley rolling there with the big lead over top of Barbray. Benoit back here in third. So Bigley back out here in, as he said, in the lead, running away with it now. He's got over 3.5 seconds. Back to Barbray. Barbray, he's got about 1 3/4 seconds back here to Benoit. Clifton trying to gather it back up here after struggling early. Steptoe, he's rolling there in fifth after having troubles himself. Frank falls back there into sixth as he seems to be all over the racetrack still. And here comes Bigley, and it doesn't look like, he's not too far behind Rex and Griffin. So Rex and Griffin at risk of going a lap down here before this thing's over. Little bump there out of 2. You see it there out of Bigley as he comes up off. Barbray in second. Bigley there in front. Getting up there to the back of Griffith as Steve Rex gets around Griffith. Griffith falls back into seventh and possibly lap down. And here comes Bigley down there on the bottom side. Somebody want to check at 58 for a little bit extra grip here tonight. He is just flying around this speedway. Barbray falls back another whole second here. He's almost 5 seconds back off of the lead as Clifton is back into third, getting around Benoit. Benoit falls back into fourth. But Clifton driving hard to get into third place at the moment. Still just under a second though between him and Benoit. So anybody can still come away with third place there, either one of those two drivers. Steptoe sitting there in fifth. And you watch Bigley coming off of turn 4, 2 laps to go. here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Clifton there in third. Benoit there fourth. Jason Steptoe there in fifth. And Barbary works down the back straight away. Clifton there third. Benoit there fourth. Steptoe there in fifth. White flag in the air for Bigley as he comes across here in the 1 and 2. Final lap for that 58 Red Bull machine. Somebody gave him the Red Bull wings here tonight as he flies down that back straightaway through turn 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, he comes flying across the start-finish line. The Red Bull sponsored 58 of Corey Bigley gonna be your winner at Nashville Fairgrounds this Friday night in the late model stocks. Clifton there in third, Axel Benoit there for it, Jason Steptoe fifth, Steve Rex there in sixth. Great job here by these drivers tonight. Here we go. Your finished results are as follows. Corey Bigley getting that win. Ricky Barbray in second. Jeff Clifton there third. Axel Benoit there in fourth. Jason Steptoe fifth. Steve Rex there sixth. Frank Grimmett seventh. Greg Parmalee there in eighth. D.B. Runkle in ninth. Tim McDowell in 10th. Andy Patton in 11th. That will wrap it up there. And we'll get with your podium here in just a quick moment. Oh, here we go. As they are rolling, we'll get with Jeff Clifton, third place finisher. Good evening here, Jeff. How's it going?
Well, it could be going a little bit better, but
Well,
almost
for a
got him.
moment there, I didn't know if you were going to actually get back into a podium spot or not.
I didn't either. Man, that car, I don't think I was in control of that car at all night. But we managed to keep it out of the wall, so there's that.
Well, Runkle put in the chat that he thinks somebody messed with all the, because you guys are running fixed setups, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Runkle thinks they put the wrong shocks in the car for the night.
I wouldn't put it past him. Frank is conveniently right there in front of me in points. He's the one that sets them all up, so maybe there's some colluding going on.
I told him, I said, I don't know. Everybody's spinning coming out of turn 4. You might want to check for a little bit extra oil or something laying there to slicken up the exit of turn 4, because that seemed to be where everybody was getting loose.
Oh, yeah. I mean, pretty much the only times I made a pass was when somebody got loose in front of me. I think Axel's the only one that I passed clean there at the end, and I think he said that he'd cooked his right rear off, so he just had no grip come off corners. And I mean, I almost ran down Ricky there at the end too. I mean, it felt like my car was really good there at the end. My spotter was telling me that I was running times faster than the leader, so I mean, I was really kind of hoping they would bunch the field back up there because I think I would have had a shot at it. But I'll take a third though.
Well, unfortunately, that last lap, no, you were not faster than the leader, but you were definitely faster than Barbray.
I was. We almost got him, but it's all right. It's okay.
But, man, you definitely drove the wheels off of that thing tonight to try to get back into that podium spot.
Yes, I am sweating right now.
Right, got yourself a workout, man. You got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting yourself back into that third place tonight?
Oh, yeah, we got to thank Frank for putting us all on. It's a lot of fun. There might not be a lot of us at the end of the night, but it's a lot of fun. And, I mean, the quality of drivers is more important than, having a field of, 38 cars and everybody's wrecking all the time. The quality of racing has gotten better significantly since the beginning of the season. I'm excited to see what next season will be like. Got to thank 4C's Tools. I said it wrong again. No, I didn't. 4C's Tools and Equipment, Kirkpatrick Construction, Black Acid Apparel, and Highside Fabrication, And then I got to thank you for putting on the broadcast.
Yeah,
you
it's
do
our
a great
pleasure.
job. I love watching them after.
You-
Gives me something to do while I'm doing the points.
You did a great job there tonight trying to get it back up there. I mean, you struggled there in these cars tonight for, like you said, Eric, quite at the beginning and through the heat, but you gathered it back up and were able to bring it home into a third-place finish.
Yeah, we'll take a podium and a clean car.
Well, you were able to accomplish that despite, getting loose out of 4.
Yeah, we did that one time. I almost set them off, but we didn't.
Yeah, you did real good there, and we'll see you next week there, Jeff, and see how everything plays out.
I'm not looking forward to it. I know you know where we're going to be.
You don't know where we're going to be?
No, I said I know you know where we're going to be.
I should know, but I don't right off the top of my head.
Next week we are going to be at Slinger, and it's not my favorite track in the world, but I'll still be there.
So Stinger is going to Slinger.
That's correct.
that's a little bit of a tongue twister there, isn't it?
Right? It might be a tongue twister of a race too. We'll see what happens.
Alrighty. Well, great job there, Jeff. We'll see how it goes for you.
All right, I appreciate it. You have a good one, bud.
All right, that's Jeff Clifton, your third place finisher. Now we'll get with Ricky Barbray. Good evening there, Ricky. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Well, you started third, ended up second. We drove in. You had it onboard camera with you tonight there on your roll bar, and we took a couple glances out of here throughout the night, and man, it looked like you were really having to crank that wheel coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, it was quite a loose race car there at the beginning, and then it just kind of bounced out. Then towards the end there, it started falling off, and it was just holding on.
That looked to be about what you guys were doing. I don't know who was steering more, the car or you drivers. I mean, because those cars seemed like they had a mind of their own tonight.
Oh yeah, you could definitely roll center in these cars. That was pretty evident tonight, but we did pretty good. I mean, changed my strategy up a little bit. Normally I ride. This time I went all out and finished in the top 3, so maybe I should start doing that more.
Well, maybe it's maybe finding that balance of when to go all out so you can kind of save some tire for the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I had a little bit more rubber and could have chased the leader down, I might have had something for him. But for the most part, about quarter ways to the end of the race there, he just started checking out, and I knew I didn't have nothing for him. So I was like, hey, I'll take second. It's better than third. So.
Well, you finished ahead of Jeff, so that should feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, it was a good night.
Now, it does look like you might, or I guess that's not, I was looking at the hood of that, and I thought maybe you scuffed that, but it almost looks, now that I'm looking at it closer, looks like you got bull horns or something across the hood of that.
Yeah, we had to slap some horns on the front of it, and didn't have to use them tonight, which is a good thing, but, hey, if I have to use them, they're there, There's a reason the bumper's called the chrome horn, and we just want all the rest of the drivers to know that we have one.
Well, great job there, and we'll see how it goes next week. You want to give shout-outs, thank yous to any of your sponsors?
Oh, yeah, definitely. 4C's Tools and Equipment, Kirkpatrick Construction, DV Printing, High Side Bodies and Fabrication, you for putting this broadcast on, Frank for doing their setting the race up and stuff. It was a fun night. We had a fantastic race in the street stocks. I hope the people watching had a absolute blast watching that, as I did driving it. Late model race went pretty good, and overall I'm pretty happy and ready to do it again next Friday, hopefully.
Well, what's your thoughts on Slinger as we head there?
That's gonna be a tight little track. It's been a while since I've raced there. Gonna have to do some testing during the week to get used to it again, but it's gonna be tight, and hopefully we can run all the laps on the green, but I wouldn't be surprised if we seen a couple spin outs or a couple bumper runs there, as it's a very tight bull ring.
I really enjoy the bumper sticker you have on the back of that car here.
Oh yeah, all my friends like to joke with me and say I'm the creative one. So, sometimes we gotta have a little fun on the track, off the track, and even on the race car. So.
Well, I'm sure there's a few that might end up catching the broadcast at some point and going, "What exactly is he talking about on the back of that car?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tonight, all that mattered was you get into second place, and we're able to finish out the race here tonight. And man, what a great job! So we'll see if you can carry this momentum into Slinger next week.
Yep, hopefully so. Finish one spot better at Slinger, and the night will be made there too. So.
All right, great job. Hey, have a great weekend there, Ricky.
You too.
All right, at Ricky Barbre. Now we'll get with Corey Bigley, your winner here. Good evening there, Corey. How's it going?
Good.
Man, what a race you had tonight. You owned this racetrack.
Yeah, this is one of my good tracks. Like I said, I'm not really a bigger track guy, but I learned something from when I ran the official here. I don't know. I learned something with that. Like it was like I think it was last year I learned it, and I'm like I finally figured it out. But yeah, I really like it. I just know how to, because I knew a lot of these guys were. I watched the first heat, and I kind of would see what these guys were doing, and because I knew the 29 was kind of getting sideways, and I knew he was burning the right rear tire off too quick. Like I said, I was being aggressive with that because I wanted to pace the field there because I like these cars. I just don't want to. I wanted to just pace my own field, and I knew what I could run faster, slower, and then I knew he tried to push me a little bit, and I knew when I got out a little further from him, I knew I was all right because I knew I can get the car. I can get away because I knew I started getting about a tenth faster, and I just lost the right rear about 5 to go, and that's it.
Well, you did a great job bringing that Red Bull, and apparently somebody gave you a little bit extra wings with that Red Bull paint scheme tonight to really let you glide into that victory lane tonight. I mean, you pretty much got there uncontested with Ricky Barbre being behind you about 6 seconds there at the finish.
Yeah, I've seen I was like 2 to 3 tenths faster than him at the end. I'm like, yeah, I knew they hurt the tires early because, like I said, I hit these cars I really know really well, and then with that track because I knew it was free. Because I just ran something different from the heat race to the feature. I just changed one thing because I knew I knew I wouldn't burn because I changed one thing from the heat race to the feature, and I knew one thing I wouldn't kill the right rear tire with what I did, and because I ran a 20 lap run in practice, and it just stayed underneath me, and I knew what I had to run the line and all that. But yeah, I'm happy again. I know I swept tonight. It doesn't happen much, but I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, great job there getting that victory. You got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank.
Yeah, I got to thank 4C's Tools and Equipment again, Kirkpatrick Construction, LLC, and I forget the other two that that came on. And I got to just thank Frank for putting us on, and then you guys for putting it on so I could go back and watch it, and also got to thank my Stinger guys.
Alrighty, well, hopefully you can carry this momentum into Slinger next week as we head there, that little bull ring of a track.
I will be there, and like I said, I'm a short track guy for sure, and I ran around there, and I think I'm pretty good there. It's a real tight racetrack. It's fun, but if you miss off a 4, you will hit the fence every time.
Well, are you think some might be worried about it being another Hickory race or not?
I don't think, was I here? I don't know if I was here for the Hickory race. I don't know. Like I said, I've been here every now and then. This is pretty much my third race for both of them.
Yeah, Hickory and the street stocks, some want to forget that night.
Yeah, I finished 4th at Iowa. That's the one. That's the last time I raced.
Yeah.
With that. And I won Iowa in the late model stocks. But yeah, I won all 3 that I've been in for the late models. Just letting you know.
Okay. Yeah, it was a street stock night at Hickory, and it was just, yeah. a night that a few of us here at SRA would like to forget.
Yeah, I didn't race that. No, the only 3 I've raced it was Myrtle Beach, Iowa, and this one. That's all I've raced because I've been too busy working on real card, like I said.
Alrighty, well, we'll see if you make it next week for Slinger, and good
I
luck.
have next week. Yep, I'll be, like I said, I'll be at Slinger, but then it's a couple weeks. We have 2 weeks coming up, not back to back, but I have a off week, and then I'll be back maybe the week before I go the week after. Yep, 'cause like I said, I'll be every now and then. I am.
All right, well, great job getting that victory tonight, and you have yourself a great weekend there, Corey, and we'll see how it goes here for the rest of the season for you.
All right, you too. Have a good night.
So that was Corey Bigley. As we get ready to sign off here, thank you all for tuning in to such a great broadcast here tonight. Red Bull gives you wings, and it definitely gave wings to Corey Bigley tonight. He sailed into that victory spot for your late model stocks. Here for your Honky Tonk Highway 150 completed here tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll be back here. We'll be back on I believe, Wednesday night, possibly with the next broadcast. So thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great night.